says it's time for Georgio's celebrity check. Tune in now, folks, we need to talk about this. Tune in now, folks, we need to talk about this. Tune in now, folks, we need to talk about this. Georgio says it's time for Georgio's celebrity check. Tune in now, folks, we need to talk about this. Georgio says it's time for Georgio's celebrity check.
All right, everyone. Welcome to an all-new episode of Georgio Says. We are live. It is Friday. I hope everyone's doing as well as they can be. Yes, not going to be a super long one today, but there's a lot of stuff going on, as always. We're going to be diving into what's going on with Blake Lively's Instagram, because that's wild. And we're also going to talk about Blake's lawyers putting out a letter basically saying they don't want Blake being deposed by Brian Friedman, which is very wild. And yeah, on top of that, Ryan and Blake also want to file a motion to dismiss Baldoni's defamation case. Hopefully, when they go back on Monday, that won't be the case. Hopefully, the judge sees through that. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. First and foremost, please say hello to Jeff, our channel's moderator. Thank you, Jeff, for keeping the channel up and organized for us. Yes, if you're in the live chat, please hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed. And if you're not able to watch live, no worries. This is available on the YouTube channel as part of the replay. You can also listen to this as a podcast episode, so you can stream that anywhere you get your podcasts. All right, let's say hello to a couple people. So we have some people trickling in. Hi, Smiling with Aaron D. Hello, Adam. Awesome. Okay. Well, you know what? We're gonna touch on the reunion trailer that dropped for Potomac, which I think it's a bit interesting that this trailer for the reunion seems like it's better than what the entire season has been, but you know, it's just a trailer. I don't want to speak too soon, so I'll give you my thoughts on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and just dive into the intro so we can get this show going.
We need to talk about this. Every rumor, every twist on the Georgio Says podcast. We need to talk about. So hit that play, stay in the know. Georgio's here to steal the show on the Georgio Says podcast. We need to talk about this.
All right, yes. So yeah, where do we begin? I guess we need to begin with, let's just start with the elephant in the room. Blake Lively's Instagram. More importantly, a lot of you, like, I know a lot of you guys are not in my time zone, but I also get up early, and so I, obviously I check my emails and then I go through all my social media stuff, but like I got a lot of messages this morning. And not a lot of detail, no context, just a lot of messages that said, you must go to Blake Lively's tagged photos on Instagram. That was all people were writing me. And the messages went from like 2 a.m. all the way. I was still getting them by like 7:30, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And I was like, what the heck's going on? I was thinking perhaps maybe there was like a I don't know, a Easter egg in the tagged photos that was just there the whole time or something. So I'm going over to Instagram. I get into her tagged photos, and my God, who in the hell spammed Blake Lively's Instagram with all the, PORN? I can't say it on here. And coincidentally, I was absolutely in stitches because so on TikTok and Instagram, you can get your content flagged if you say certain words. So a lot of code words are there to, signal to someone what it is about, but not actually having to say the word. So on there it was corn. So when I talked about it on TikTok and Instagram, I said corn, and a lot of people um a lot of people were like, wait, I literally was going over there thinking that someone was just tagging photos of corn, which would be funny, but it wasn't corn. It was the P, not the C in orn. Anyways, so I I don't want to assume, but as of a half hour ago, I was still getting comments saying that it's still up, meaning nobody has, I don't, it's wild. Like, if you actually go, it's clearly spam. Like, it's all like probably bots, if you will. Um, now I'm going to go there and it's all going to be gone. Okay, so it seems that someone has caught wind of it and they seem to have been cleaning out. There's still a few though, like I can't show you guys, but there's still like there's a few that they're clearly still like okay, so no, actually they didn't. I'm sorry. They have not cleaned these videos up. Someone must be just tagging more relevant content. How is Instagram still letting this stay up? I'm afraid to click on some of these. They're so wild, you guys. What is going on? Okay. Anyways, no, they did not clean any of this up at all. They just added more tags randomly. Like some of this is not even I think everyone's just having a free for all. They're just tagging her in whatever cuz some of these are like people in wedding photos or someone standing on a boat, someone drinking Starbucks. Like none of this has anything to do with Blake. And then you go up, then you go down a little bit further, and it's exactly what I woke up to this morning when I went over there. So it's just absolutely insane. How is her team not seeing this? Okay, so at this point, I feel comfortable in what I said originally. My theory, this is alleged, okay? So don't get all up in arms. My theory is someone allegedly on her side is possibly spamming her Instagram so that it looks like she's being being bullied, and now she's got what looks like, I mean, internet that's got to be a thing, right? Internet sexual harassment. I mean, that looks like internet assault, actually. Those I'm really perplexed at how Instagram is not flagging those videos that are being tagged. It's clearly PORN. I don't understand. Like, it's not. Anyways, so yes, I'm starting to think now that it's almost 4:30 Eastern time, and clearly I don't believe that her social media team, her PR team, all of the above have not been checking her social medias. There's no way in hell, dare I say, that they have not seen her tagged photos. You're not getting alerts at how many videos you're being tagged in. You're not going to look, Or are you, and you know about this, and so it's better to leave it up because maybe this works better for your side of things? Because, quite frankly, I don't know where everyone sits on all of this as of yet. And I think based on how things have been going in the chat since I've been talking about this more, it seems like more people are, I don't want to say they're siding with Justin, but they're definitely seeing a lot of holes in Blake's side. Every day, the more things come out, the more it raises more questions. Yesterday, I even shared, Lady Colin Campbell gave like a complete read, and it was like as if she really wanted to say it to their face. And if you weren't on the show yesterday, I went through them, but it was these that she posted on X yesterday, and it got everyone's attention because, well, at least, from my post, I saw it went pretty viral on TikTok. Because a lot of people were tagging other creators that are obviously talking about this, and it seems that Lady Colin Campbell is very well respected. I'm still trying to understand exactly what her role is outside of what I know she does, which she's an author and she does commentary on the royal family. But it was very interesting that she had this take because she didn't hold back, and yes, she's about to retire, so take it for what you want. But interestingly, it doesn't seem like people are buying anything that's coming from, well, first of all, Blake's side has not really come out with anything to add more to what her claims are. So it's just been a lot of deflection or a lot of look that way, or adding things in there to make it seem like the smear campaign continues. So it's just wild that they're going this far with it, so much so that they're asking to have the defamation case from Justin Baldoni dismissed. So that, I don't know, like they feel like, I guess there's no real basis to his claims, but it's like, did you guys read his lawsuit? Because there was a lot in there. So I don't know. I mean, nothing would shock me anymore, but it does seem a little weird that they would want this dismissed. Why? You've not even, it just seems very much like they're validating everything that everyone's been saying about them as a couple individually, that they come, they take over, they they manipulate stuff and make it so that they get their way. So this just seems like another one of those situations. Now, I know that they're supposed to be the lawyers on both sides are supposed to be in court in front of the judge for that final decision, whether or not the judge is going to say, yes, we're going to dismiss this. I find that to be highly unlikely. There's just way too much packed in his lawsuit. And I think it would be unfair, quite frankly, because when you look at it from what she's got in hers, it feels like there's a lot of holes there. Not on, not even going into the metadata and all the other stuff and the other links that go along with all of this and the Taylor Swift of it all. So I just think that it's a shame when you look at it from, if you look at it from Justin's side, because also we have this, right? Where the Hollywood Reporter says Justin Baldoni's Pac-Man movie in doubt amid Blake Lively legal battle. So left and right, Wayfarer Studios is losing projects, which means they're losing money. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I had talked about earlier on that one of the people that's like an owner of Wayfarer Studios is a billionaire. His name is Steve Sarowitz. So I also said that, like, it seems that probably is not the right type of person to piss off. Someone who quite literally caught a stray. And we already know that Justin and his representation from WME was dropped. And then so it seems like these projects are being dropped as well. So this isn't like it's boosting his career by any means. So I don't think it would be fair, again, if the judge were to say, you know what, we're going to dismiss his defamation case. We'll just go along with, you know, Blake, Blake's side of it. And it's like, why? He already put out so much information that would, basically poke a lot of holes. It just seems like there's just a lot of manipulation, but it also feels like a lot of people can see right through it. Case in point, Lady Colin Campbell, okay? Everyone on TikTok yesterday was commenting, who is this diva? Because so many people aren't familiar with her. They were, who is this? But also, I love how she wrote this and tagged every single person and company. But yeah, I think, honestly, at this point in the game, there's way too much out there. And also, I think Blake and Ryan also probably understand that they don't look great right now, and there's too many things coming out daily, it seems, where it's not stacking up, and honestly, like, if you're doing these types of things, like you're trying to get his case dismissed, well, then what's going on here, but then if that's not enough, okay, then we get this. From Deadline. Blake Lively's lawyers won't let Brian Friedman take actress' deposition in sexual harassment and smear campaign case against Justin Baldoni. Now, are you even allowed to do that? Are you allowed to pick who deposes you in a situation like that? I thought you just had to be deposed, and that's like, that was that. I didn't think that you had an option. It's not like I don't know, but it's starting to feel like what people were saying about how Blake slowly tried to, allegedly take this movie. And I mean, I hate saying allegedly because a lot of the stuff that is in Justin's side of things is really pointing in that direction. However, nothing's been completely proven, so I'll say allegedly, but nonetheless, all the talk about how she came in and she started taking over this and slowly trying to take over that, and then changing things in the script daily and all these things. This is giving me very much that. It's like giving me like, you know what, actually, but I don't want Brian to depose me, actually, so we're gonna need to get someone else because I don't like him. And it's like, well, no, you actually can't do that, like, well, I don't know, maybe they'll make an exception. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. It seems like there's a lot of privilege when you get to that stature in your career and you have that much power. So perhaps maybe they will appease her, but I don't think that'll be the case, because I was listening to some other commentators on YouTube earlier this morning talking about this, and they didn't think that would even be an option to even try. Like, that's not going to be something that she's going to get her way with, it seemed, from what a lot of people, mixture of people and lawyers that do commentary on YouTube said. And I honestly, I hope they don't. Like, I hope that she has to get deposed by Brian Friedman, and why not? What is the problem? What would it matter? If these are the things that happen to you, then there wouldn't be an issue. It's not like she's going to be by herself anyway. Her lawyers are going to be present. It's not like she's going to be stuck in a room with just Brian Friedman. It's like, it's nothing like that. It's going to be with her team. So it's not like she won't have her own representation and, someone there to protect her in the event that they don't want her to answer something, or they want to make sure she answers it in a particular way. No one wants to be deposed because it's a long, lengthy process and it's annoying, but here we are, I also don't think anybody would think, I think from their angle, they didn't think that it was even going to go this far. I really don't. The more and more things come out, it just feels like they were expecting Justin to just cave, and maybe, because if everything in Justin's lawsuit is true, it seems like she got her way quite a bit by pushing the limits, like getting them to essentially write her a letter of recommendation to receive a PGA credit. And like, all these things where they had to even back that stuff up later to be like, well, we were kind of pushed into doing these things. So I think when this whole thing came up, it was more of like they're going to cave, they're small players in the whole thing. And the way we're going about it by going via the New York Times, this will completely crash and burn everything that's going on over there. And then we'll be good. Because again, I think I talked about this yesterday, but and the creator's not she's escaping me. She brought up that there's possibly a morality clause in the purchase of the rights to Colleen Hoover's book, and the story of it ends with us and the sequel. And I guess in the morality clause, if there's something that comes up where Justin is, I don't remember if it's he has to be accused or he gets found of doing something involving sexual harassment, then I guess she gets those rights back or she's able to retain those rights. And then therefore it would work because then, speculation out there is that that's what they wanted all along. Right. And then when we go back to Lady Colin Campbell's statement around it. Now, again, this is a very, very not saying that this is fact because obviously there's no attached proof to validate this, but it's a very strong statement nonetheless. But this part where it says, there is incontrovertible written proof from earlier last year that Blake Lively threatened Sony Pictures that she would accuse Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment via the New York Times unless they reverse their refusal to use her cut of the movie instead of his. So right there, that's already like, okay, so even if that, say you don't believe that, that still aligns with a lot of the stuff that Justin was talking about in his lawsuit, right? All the times that when she didn't get her way, then it was like, well, then I'm not going to come to work. Well, you didn't like the wardrobe stylist that was already hired, so you took over wardrobe. And not only that, you made them all haul all the clothing down to your penthouse apartment and made everything more expensive and more difficult. So you slowly but surely ended up trying to take this whole thing over. And so here is basically the letter that they wrote to the judge, basically asking, well, I'll read it to you. It says, Dear Judge Lehman, as counsel for Wayfarer Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Horowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan, the Agency Group PR LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we write to advise the court of an issue that the Wayfarer parties wish to address at the upcoming conference on Monday, February 3rd, 2025. So this is coming from Justin's side, and it seems like they want to let the judge know about this because they are going to be going to court on the 3rd to, hear what the final decision is on the motion to dismiss the case. So it says, during a conference of the parties counsel on January 30th, counsel for the Wayfarer parties requested the earliest possible deposition of Blake Lively. Counsel for Miss Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the Lively parties, stated their objection to the Wayfarer parties led counsel conducting the deposition of Blake Lively. Specifically, the Lively parties counsel indicated that they object to Brian Friedman personally taking Miss Lively's deposition based upon unspecified statements made by Mr. Friedman. Now, they've already brought this up when they tried to get him basically gagged with that gag order to keep him from talking. But his position was he was allowed to defend his client. Now, we obviously know that both parties have played in this messiness publicly, but when you look at it from who started what, it's really starting to seem like this started from Blake's camp, allegedly. Again, going back to the metadata conversation, right? And also, there's that Reddit post that was like 6 months ago where Taylor's seemingly more involved than she's trying to come off now, okay? And I think, when you look at it from this part, it's like, well, why are we not going to so what does that have to do with anything, and what is unspecified statements? Anyways, counsel for Miss Lively has counsel for Miss Lively has made clear that Miss Lively does not want Mr. Friedman to be the attorney who takes her deposition. We are unaware of any situation that would warrant the deposed party to have a choice in which attorney takes her deposition. Right? That's what I was saying before. It's like, I didn't even know that you had an option in a situation like that. Parties to litigation simply do not have the right to dictate which of their opponent's attorneys may or may not take their deposition or perform any other aspect of the opposing party's case. Sounds pretty fair to me. I don't know what you guys think. But, you know, I think it's all a little bit telling, though. You know, if we're going to sit here and say that his claims are enough that you want them dismissed because you think that there's nothing there, but a lot of what's in his lawsuit is painting a picture of how you essentially came in and stole the movie right from under him, allegedly. But now you're coming in basically demanding that you will not be deposed by Brian Friedman as if that was a choice to begin with. But the real question is, why don't you? What does it matter? What does it matter? Because like I said, you have your lawyers present for that. You will definitely be prepped, I'm sure. So, you know, it's not like you're going to really have no one there to support it. But judging off the way things are going for that side of things, it isn't really looking all that great. It really isn't. So I'm not sure. It looks like she's trying to chicken out, trying to find ways to like not get caught up in something. What do you have to hide? Yes, thank you. Hello, Danny Gossip Girl. Welcome. Yes, 71 in here and 10 likes. Let's keep hitting the like button, guys. I know it's Friday, but I appreciate everyone in the chat. Yes, that's exactly it, Rebecca. She can't take no for an answer. But this goes back to, you see this pattern when you look back, right? This behavior where it's just this brattiness that seemingly has never gone away. And it comes out in the relationship that she has with Ryan. You can tell there's no real, at least from where we sit, there's no real depth. And then when you unpack it from this lens, it's like, well, you know, some of those theories, I could see how that could happen. Like if you look at it from that angle where, you know, she's doing this movie where they're supposed to be romantic. They're getting along. First of all, up until a certain point, until essentially when Ryan had to come home because of the strikes, things were okay. It's like when Ryan got home, things got spicy and it was like, oh, now we need to look at the dailies. Now we need to check up on what's really going on here. I shared an old interview from 2008 with Alanis Morissette, where she wrote a whole, well, not a whole album, but at least 50% of the songs on that album in 2008 were about her breakup with Ryan. She also talks about how she had to go to therapy a lot, alluding to controlling issues. This has come up multiple times. So in my mind, I think we're dealing with two different types of things. It's like a perfect storm. You have the most insecure grown man who doesn't care about anything, really. He just, you know, has a pattern of doing these types of things, allegedly taking over movies and such, and, you know, getting mad at people and writing pieces into a script. No one has any Scooby-Doo clue as to why this is in here, but it's more just him getting things off his chest. It's like the strangest behavior. And we saw that again during the press tour of It Ends With Us. You know, you have everyone and their mom except Justin, the person whose movie it is, the person who directed it, the person who's actually in it is nowhere to be found. So it just, to me, it really feels like now we're going to try to move to dismiss this. How convenient. Oh, now you don't want to be deposed by Brian Friedman? Oh, how convenient. Oh, by the way, your Instagram tag section was spammed with PORN. Oh, and it's still up there. Oh, did your social media team and everyone take the weekend off? Is everyone having a long weekend? No one's checking anything? Is Blake not checking anything? So to me, that looks suspicious now too. Is that playing into something that you're going to use here? You're going to say Justin did that? Justin's team spammed you with PORN. That's why you're leaving it up, because you want more and more people to pick up on it, so that the people that believe you blindly, even still, because let's be honest, a couple things here about that. There's a good percentage of people that are still blindly going to believe anything that Blake says, partially because they're unhealed. So either their ex was something that was like a monster to them, which if that was the case, that is terrible, but that's not Justin. You can't project your problems that you haven't healed from onto a situation that has nothing to do with yours. That's the first part. The second part is people that blindly want to excuse and cherry pick when they say believe all women. When Blake, I've already pointed out the hypocrisy and all of that, because she doesn't even believe all women. Her PR person, Leslie, doesn't believe all women. And in fact, okay, her company, Leslie's company, is backed by Weinstein's money. And no one spoke out directly. Blake's statement around the Weinstein thing, to remind everyone, was that wasn't my experience, but everyone should be able to tell their side of the story. But the list can go on and on. My point is that it's very telling that this is what's going on. They're asking to be, to get a deposition going, to get it started. They want to get the ball rolling. And it's like, oh, no. I don't want him to do it. Not him. Not Brian. I want someone inexperienced or someone who's not a lawyer to do it, baby. Tell him. I don't want to do it. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. Unfortunately, there is people like Steve, who, Steve Sarowitz, the billionaire, who absolutely probably not happy about loss in projects, and he's a do-gooder. So he aligned with Justin's storytelling and wanting to tell these dynamic stories from a different lens and make it more authentic and make impact. He's not happy. I mean, this guy wants to give away $1 billion as part of charity. That's how much money he has. So you're pissing off a billionaire who has way more money than Taylor Swift, Ryan, and Blake combined. I don't know. I think Justin's going to keep pushing this, and he should, because if he's innocent in all of this, there's no reason why he should be labeled as any of these things. But it is going to do damage to both career. It already has, right? Because I don't think that they're going to be big moves. I think Ryan just made an appearance. I don't remember where he was, but that looks staged to me too. It's like, did you guys just hire a bunch of extras to stand outside and hold a bunch of posters of Deadpool and figurines and pretend like he's got a bunch of fans that love him and everything's fine and normal? No, I wasn't buying it. It's like, give me a break. It's a joke. I hope the judge is seeing through it, and I hope that they do not go forward with dismissing his case, because I think I would be pissed. I'll be pissed, because I'm like, that sucks, because it seems like that's just not fair when you look at it from where we are now. But you never know. You never know where the cookie's gonna crumble. Let's get in the chat, see what everyone's saying. Will says, girl, Blake could tell me she was Amber Heard and I'd believe her. She left a turd on my bed. Yes, honestly, that's fine. If people I get it. There's some people that are just going to see this from that way no matter what. I see a lot of people that are playing this Justin's a narcissist and he's the perfect kind of narcissist because he's so sweet and he knows all the right things. And then this whole this goes back to what I'm saying. This is not your ex. Shout out to Bohemian Diva on TikTok for saying that first. He's not your ex, because it's true. He's not. There's not one bad thing out here about that man. And trust me, I have looked. I have looked. And I would like to also point out that isn't it odd that if that was the case, let's say he was accused of that, wouldn't that leave the door open for other people to then come forward? If Blake Lively's coming forward, then those women are going to feel more comfortable to come forward in my mind. She embodies women's empowerment, girl boss. So, nothing has come out as of January 31st at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we're here live. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's not to say that there hasn't been, but there hasn't been anything that's come out. So I also look at that like, okay, well, typically when things like this arise, then you see a bunch of other little cases start popping up like, oh, he actually did this to me too, or he was being weird on set with me too, or oh yeah, he didn't get me an intimacy coordinator either. Like there hasn't been any of that. In fact, there's been quite the opposite. He seems like a healed, genuine, spiritually centered type of guy. I don't know. Is that wrong? Is that bad? I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're at in your journey. But I just feel like maybe that's also what maybe got Ryan pissy. Maybe he saw this like guy who's really in tune with his like, his masculinity, and he doesn't feel like any type of way, and the way he's probably able to emotionally, have conversations and connect with Blake. I could see that being a problem if you're listening to that voice note, which by the way, he was responding to her text message. So it wasn't like he was just being a weirdo at 2 a.m. in his bed, being like sending a voice note. They were going back and forth. So, but yeah, I'm sure Ryan didn't like hearing that. I don't think anybody would like that, actually. Well, if you listen to it, it's very much, it's late. So he's got his voice very like, he's like, hey, Blake. Like, it's just, I don't know. But that doesn't mean anything happened either between them. It just means that they were building a relationship and a rapport because they were going to play a romantic couple in this movie. So that was part of it, which is why it's strange that all of a sudden, when the strikes happen and Ryan's home again, all of a sudden now it's like you've got this laundry list of tasks that you have to be like, give me the dailies from every day. I want to read the script. We're going to rewrite anything that makes it seem like you have more of an opportunity to take my girl. Like it's just, but also Ryan is like almost 50 years old. Like why are we this insecure? Wolfgang XX said, I'm not sure if you watch this, but in Millyanne King video of Blake Lively exposed Taylor Swift big time. I haven't seen that. Is it on TikTok or is it on YouTube? I'll have to look for it. Yeah. Well, you guys will definitely let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. I'm still reeling over the lady Colin Campbell statement because I think that's pretty telling. Okay. Thank you, Wolfgang. I'm gonna look for that. It's on YouTube. Okay. But yeah, I'm still reeling over from those three paragraphs that she wrote as she's retiring. Listen, there absolutely needs to be like a movie remake of this at some point. There's just no way. I think don't count on this. I don't think I haven't verified this, but I think I saw a few people saying that they saw something that possibly Hulu was doing something. I can't verify it, so I'm not trying to start rumors, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did come out with a documentary about this. I mean, for goodness sakes, we do it for the Housewives. This is like another level of like craziness. So I would welcome it. But we do also need a remake of a movie like this as a movie. Lifetime should do it. I'm calling for it. So, all right. I think that's. Oh, let's quickly touch on this reunion trailer from Potomac. Not really a lot, as we know, because Karen Huger's not there. But in the trailer, we see Karen. I guess she had recorded a message. It's not clear where she's at. She kind of looks disheveled and she's clearly breaking down and looks like she's revealing something that the women are seemingly getting emotional about. First off, the women look fantastic. I will say that they do normally kill it with the looks overall, but this one looks great as well. I loved the theme. But it's going to be interesting. It seems like a lot is revealed. A lot is brought up in terms of Mia and Ink and her basically exploiting her family. So that's interesting. I say I will absolutely be more excited to probably watch the Potomac reunion than I have been watching this entire season. I do think the nugget that's in the reunion where we're talking about why TJ didn't come is, I don't know if you remember, but last week, a week ago from today, I went to Kempire. Shout out to Kempire. He had his live show here last week, and Stacy was at his live show, and she didn't confirm it because I suspect that this is what's going to come out during the reunion, so she couldn't say it. But it's that conveniently Stacy and TJ are no longer together, and that allegedly Stacy does have a new man. She wouldn't tell us at the show who this new man is, but she also wouldn't confirm if her and TJ were broken up. So anyhow, that's pretty much what it is. I think it's going to be really centered around Mia, and we also have some other stuff, and they're obviously going to talk about the Karen stuff as well. They seem to have just like a framed photo of Karen, so it seemed to have moved around throughout the reunion trailer, so that I'm sure they're going to take jabs there where they can. So I'll definitely be tuning in. I'll definitely be watching. I think we have one more. I think this Sunday is the finale episode actually for the season for Potomac. So, yeah, that's a wrap on that. It'll be interesting to see what happens now that Karen's got a new legal team and she's asked to push her sentencing back, probably to regroup. So, we'll be watching. I know the cameras are probably going to pick back up right around that time because they're going to want to pick up the story on it now that they can probably talk a little bit more, because obviously this past season was a bust in terms of her being able to disclose anything. But with that being said, I'm going to close out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think we got up to the most we got in here was 113, if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I don't care if there's only 5 of you in here. Thank you guys for joining me live, taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about all these juicy gossip things and letting me spill the tea for you guys, quite literally. And thanks to the replay crew who listened to the replay, and thanks to everyone who is a new subscriber. Welcome. I am live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So like I said at the top of the show, if you're not subscribed, get subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I go live or if I upload any videos. Thank you also to all the new people that just discovered the podcast and left reviews. I really, really appreciate it. Means the world to me. And I think I'll just leave it there for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe out there. stay aware, okay, and stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. I'm saying that for myself as well because I lacked the hydration this week and I'm trying to pick that back up. But anyways, I love you guys and I will definitely be talking to you guys next week. Bye.
We need to talk about this. Every rumor, every twist on the Georgio Says podcast. We need to talk about. So hit that play, stay in the know. Georgio's here to steal the show on the